The House will come to order. Today's pledge is by Asi Eve Do from Arupe Jesuit High School in Denver.
If you guys would mind joining me in the pledge. We pledge of allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Randall, please call the roll.
Representative Arndt. Becker J. Becker K. Beckman. Benavides. Bridges. Buck. Buckner. Representative Buckner.
Excused.
Carver. Catlin. Coleman. Covarrubias. Danielson. Escar. Everett. Exum. Foote. Representative Foote.
Excused.
Garnett. Janal. Gray. Hamner. Hanson. Herod. Hooten. Hooten. Oh. Humphrey. Jackson. Kennedy. Kraft Tharp. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lebsock. Lee. Leonard. Lewis. Liston. Lontine. Lundeen. McKean. McLaughlin. Melton. Michelson Janae. Mitch Bush. Navarro. Neville. Nordberg. Nordberg excused.
Excused.
Pabon. Pedersen. Rankin. Ransom. Rosenthal. Sane. Salazar. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Valdez.
Good morning, Colorado.
Van Winkle. Weissman. Willett. Representative Willett. Williams. Wilson. Good morning. Winter. Wist. Young. Madam Speaker.
Present. With 63 present and 2 excused, do we have a quorum? Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, January 25th, 2017 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those signify, no, if you are opposed, signify by saying no. The motion passes. Announcements and introductions. We have people lined up today. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And just a reminder that Health Insurance and Environment will meet in room 107 today at 1:30, promptly at 1:30. And we will be discussing two bills, 1011 and 1057. Thank you.
Representative Valentine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A pleasure to serve with you.
Pleasure to serve with you too.
Good morning, everyone. Just another reminder that Friday is Military and Veterans Appreciation Day. We're starting the day with a breakfast reception on the first floor. We do have guest speakers, including the Lieutenant Governor and Adjutant General Mike Edwards. We have displays from Lockheed Martin, USS Colorado Commissioning Committee, Colorado Division of Affairs, Civil Air Patrol, my favorite 10th Mountain Alpine Group, lots of great folks to go and see. Please visit their tables. They want to see all of you there and hear from you. 9 a.m. we do have our resolutions honoring military and veterans, and we do have some special guests, including the General Counsel from Canada, and Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson, who's the Superintendent of the Air Force Academy, and a Major General from the Canadian Armed Forces at NORAD. So please go to the breakfast, and I look forward to hearing from all of you tomorrow.
Thank you, Representative Valentine. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Covarrubias.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honored to serve with you.
Honored to serve with you too.
Yesterday, we lost 2 of our high school kids out in Bennett, Colorado, due to a car crash. There's 3 others that are in the hospital right now, and the communities out there in the smaller towns, you know, the whole communities are hurting. And I just wanted to say and ask if you'd keep them in your prayers today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Covarrubias. Representatives Everett and Melton.
That works. Yeah, it's nice over here. So tomorrow is Bow Tie Friday. That's bow tie, bolo, bandana, or what are they called? Scarves?
Scarves.
And babies. And Representative Wilson, so he's paying attention, front of the class. He wanted to make sure that when you wear a bolo, you wear it properly. It's supposed to be all the way up at the neck. Joe Salazar. The bolo is supposed to be worn all the way up at the neck. Yeah.
It was not me.
Javon put me up to it. So, just so you know, so tomorrow, John, do you have anything to say besides it's not me?
Nah.
All right. Tomorrow, Bow Tie Friday. Thanks.
Representative Valentine.
Madam Speaker, members, I want to remind you again that today is the day that we will be celebrating National School Choice Week on the west steps of the Capitol at the noon hour. And school choice, to remind all of you, is a broad spectrum of individuals. Come on, if you've got your scarf, come on into the well here. Let's show off our scarves. Wear your scarves today. School choice in Colorado includes the amazing array of options, which are district-managed public schools, charter public schools, magnet public schools, innovation public schools, online schools, private schools, and homeschool programs. So I would encourage you all, grab your yellow scarf, come out to the west steps of the Capitol, and celebrate school choice in Colorado with us today. Noon gathering starts at 11:30. There will be a few presentations at noon. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Willett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, you might have been over here at the breakfast this morning. Today is Physician's Assistant Day here at the Capitol. I don't know about you, but I believe the future of medicine is things like PTs and PAs. We have Red Rocks Community College. We have, of course, CU at Anschutz. And there's going to be a new program starting at Rocky Vista that will train up PAs. And so if you see these good people, please give them support. My son's a PA student at Anschutz, and I know one of his professors, Joyce Neiman's running around here somewhere today, and another group from the Colorado Academy of PAs. Thank you.
Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Arndt and Representative Wilson.
Colleagues, today at 12 o'clock, basement, room 107, we're having the organizational meeting of the Sportsman's Caucus, where we're going to talk about a lot of issues that are going to be coming up this year, that a lot of those will be coming before this body. And by the way, there are hot dogs there.
Thank you.
Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, if I could have your attention, we have a guest here today in the lobby, a gentleman by the name of Mark Stewart, who is the former director of the Missouri Department of Youth Corrections. Missouri Department of Youth Corrections is the gold standard for departments of youth corrections in terms of humane treatment and treating kids with respect. And Mark Stewart will have some opportunities to talk with people today about the, quote, Missouri model. Ann Barkus is with him and can set appointments, or he will be available at 3 o'clock this afternoon in the basement of the Capitol. Mark Stewart, former director of the Missouri Department of Corrections. And can I piggyback with one more announcement?
Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to remind you about the Restorative Justice Lunch and Learn. On Monday, please sign up, give us an RSVP so we can count lunches and learn about the transformative process of restorative justice from the State Restorative Justice Council members. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lee, and welcome, Mr. Stewart. That is $1 fine. Representative, any further announcements or introductions? Representative Singer.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Who doesn't like being here early on Fridays? As long as we get to go early, right? State of Working Colorado. Join former Representative Claire Levy as well as Michelle Webster for an excellent report that you will all have on your desks today that talks about the state of working Colorado. For those of you who are data hounds, you'll love this. For those of you who care about working families, you'll love it too. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m., House Committee Room 112.
Any further announcements or introductions? Going once, going twice. Any further announcements or introductions? All right, our next order of business is second reading of bills. Representative Lee. You have heard the motion. Seeing no objections, Representative Lee will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for a reading of a bill at length, which we hope you do not do. The committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed and in your bill folder. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon the motion of the majority or the assistant majority leader. The coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Reader, please read the title of are we going to pull up the list of bills? Do you have a list of all of them? Okay. Please read the title of House Bill 1005. Thank you.
House Bill 1005 by Representative Arndt, also Senator Tate, concerning modernization of various laws relating to the Office of the State Auditor.
Representative Arndt and Representative Thurlow. Representative Arndt.
Down there,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 171005.
Please proceed.
Thank you. This is the, colleagues, this is the first of many statutory revision committee bills that you'll see this session. Most of you have seen them in committees. This one was unanimous out of State Affairs. It modernizes laws relating to the Office of the State Auditor. It removes an inconsistency, it removes an outdated provision, and also an obsolete one. It's a very good bill, and we urge a yes vote.
Representative Thurlow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Arndt. Good morning, members. Thank you, and it's a good bill. Vote yes.
Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, reading this bill, it repeals about 27 lines of statute, so yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1005. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1005 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1030.
House Bill 1030 by Representatives Arndt and Becker J., also Senators Sonnenberg and Baumgartner, concerning updates to the 1921 law governing irrigation districts.
This appears to be the Arndt and Thurlow show. Representative Arndt. Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move House Bill do I look like Thurlow now? No, you look. 171030 and the committee report.
To the committee report, Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We had one amendment in the Ag, Livestock, and Natural Resources Committee. It was a friendly amendment. It passed without objection. It added clarity to the bill by including the words used permitted by decree or applicable law. And I urge an aye vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, all in favor of accepting the committee report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The committee report is adopted. Representative Becker to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this is just updating some language from 1921 for the irrigation districts. Actually, very simple bill as we're moving forward, kind of modernizes that language. Ask for your aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1030? Seeing none, all in Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure to be in the House this morning.
It's a pleasure to serve with you, Representative Catlin.
In reading this bill, I had a question that I hadn't been able to get answered. It's the idea that an irrigation district might acquire more water than they need. In my area, we never acquire more water than we need. And I'm just wondering in regards to who we would lease that water to and for what purposes if there was excess of what we needed. So it's just a question that I would like to ask, and I thank you for your time.
Is there any, Representative Arndt? Is there any further discussion? Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1030? Seeing none, all in favor of House Bill 1030, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 1030 is adopted. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1019.
House Bill 1019 by Representative Valdez, concerning the amounts collected by a county treasurer upon redemption of specified property interest from a tax sale.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1019.
House Bill 1019 has been moved. Please proceed to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have an amendment to House Bill 1019. I move Amendment L001 and I ask to be displayed.
Amendment 00-1 to House Bill 1019 has been properly moved and displayed. To the amendment, Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Amendment L001 limits the third-party fees the treasurer may charge to only those associated with third-party computer access charges.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We heard this bill in Finance Committee a couple days ago and discussed a number of things about making sure this fee is limited so that it couldn't be abused by counties. The initial definition in the bill was a little bit vague, and I believe that Representative Valdez's amendment is going to help clarify and put a limit on these fees, making sure that no counties are going to be in a position to abuse it. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Kennedy. Is there any further discussion? Representative Salazar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Representative Valdez, I'm a little confused by this amendment. I'm trying to figure out if there's a slippery slope attached to this amendment and what kind of future concerns we might have as a result of this amendment.
Representative Salazar, continue.
Actually,
on your
Mr.
slippery
Chair,
slope.
Welcome to the General Assembly. That's your first bit of hazing, and here comes some more.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1019? Oh, excuse me, on the amendment. Seeing none, all in favor of Amendment 1 to House Bill 1019, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 1019, Amendment 001 is adopted. To the bill, Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1019 clarifies the county treasurer's ability to include for reimbursement third-party costs associated with the redemption of a tax lien sale pending a treasurer's deed application. Several of our rural counties are directly benefited by House Bill 1019. The language in House Bill 1019 mirrors existing statutory provisions provided to county trustees. 54 of our county treasurers are also our county trustees.
Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. As was stated earlier, the Finance Committee did hear this bill. We did a very thorough vetting and want to commend Representative Valdez for bringing such good legislation that helps county treasurers all across the state of Colorado. This is a good urban bill, a good rural bill, and this helps those who are experiencing the administration of a tax lien to recover software cost, as the amendment stated. So support this bill and ask the members for an aye vote.
Representative Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
I have a question for the committee or from Representative Valdez. Who bears the cost now, of this fee? Thank you.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Lewis. Currently, those costs are incurred by the taxpayer through the county.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1019 as amended. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. House Bill 1019 as amended is adopted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1058. Madam Majority Leader.
It's on the calendar for Friday.
Oh, is that it?
Thank
Madam
you, Mr.
Majority
Chair.
Leader.
I move the committee rise and report.
Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
That's got Lee. All three bills are accounted. It's amended. That was amended.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any amendments on deck? Okay.
Are you ready? The House will come to order. Mr. Randall, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it has under the consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1005, House Bill 1019 as amended, House Bill 1030 as amended, passed on second reading, and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Representative Lee. You have heard the motion, and there are no amendments. The question before the House is adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Have all members in the chamber voted? Representative Carver, Representative Catlin, Representative Hooton, Representative Humphrey, Representative Landgraf, Representative Leonard, Representative Pabon. Mr. Randall, please close the machine. With 65 ayes and 0 noes, a majority of those elected having voted in the affirmative, the Committee of the Whole is adopted. We have covered what is on our calendar today. So with that, announcements and introductions. Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee is meeting this morning. We will start at 9:50. And LSBA will have 3 bills today in the order that's published in your calendars. House Bill 1025 by Representative Arndt, House Bill 1074 by Representative Arndt, and then finally House Bill 1009 by Representative Van Winkle. We'll start at 9:50 a.m. LSBA.
Representative Krafthart.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, Stephanie Copeland, the new Executive Director for the Office of Economic Development, will be talking with the Business Affairs and Committee members today, Business Affairs and Labor Committee members today at 1:30. That's an LSBA Business Affair meeting. Business Affair members, we're looking forward to you joining us. Other legislators, if you'd like to join us to meet and have a conversation with the new Executive Director, please join us at 1:30. LSBA, thank you.
Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Hamner and Representative Rankin, our esteemed JBC members, all powerful.
Thank you. Wow, thank you. You must want something. Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are up here to remind the members of the Local Government Committee that upon adjournment and upon adjournment of the Senate, the joint local government committees will be meeting with the members of the Joint Budget Committee to talk about the governor's request for the budget that relates to the Department of Local Affairs and your committee for next year. So please bring this book. It looks like this. Thank you.
Any further announcements or introductions? Going once, going twice. Seeing no further announcements or introductions, Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess till 1:30 today.
You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until 1:30 today.